Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh in this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
Wow, you think? Yeah! Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Brees Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Brees Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Rucker, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet!
J-E-T-S, Jet! Let's go!
Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. I'm here with my guy, Jack. What's good, brother?
What up? What up? Let's get it.
And we're giving you an OTA preview. Today is the first day of phase number 3 of OTAs. Today is not open to the media, so we're not getting any access from the beat reporters over at One Jets Drive. That'll be tomorrow, so we'll probably hear from Robert Saleh tomorrow. We'll hear from a bunch of players tomorrow, and we'll get to see who's on the field and who's not on the field. So in today's stream, I basically just want to talk some Jets with Jack and interact with you guys in the chat, go over what happened this past weekend. As you guys saw, I made 2 vlogs. I met Elijah Moore. I also met Jeremy Rucker. Jack and I both did, and I have a really crazy story that I've not told anybody yet in terms of you guys on Twitter or which is pretty a big deal when it comes to the Jets. So I'm really excited to share this story with you guys. So guys, welcome into the stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you're just tuning into the show. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are indeed new. Jack, so how you feeling today, my man? And going into OTAs with the Jets?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. This continues to be an exciting time for all of us Jets fans. And I just can't wait to ride this wave all the way into the season and see some winning Jets football for the first time in what feels like forever. So, yeah, man, the vibes have been high amongst Jets Nation for a while now, and couldn't be happier to be here.
Yeah, man, it's. I like when Jack is in on the streams and we're in person. It kind of feels more of a fluid vibe instead of him over at his house and me over at my house. So everybody, welcome in Jack to the show. It's going to be a lot of fun here. So first and foremost, let's just get into the OTAs. To talk about phase number 3 and what to expect. Just to update you guys, there's a different philosophy when it comes to the OTAs this year with Robert Saleh. They're not going to do a lot of trench work. It's going to be more 7-on-7, where it's the quarterback, with the wide receivers going up against the D-backs with no pass rush or no offensive line, because Robert Saleh is trying to protect the trench work in the OTAs. They don't want to, put a lot of mileage on them early on. They're trying to prevent injuries as much as possible. So OTA is going to be a little different this year. I kind of like that approach because you do not want any injuries. That's exactly what Jack said right before we went live. Is like, that's the one thing that we need to do is coming out of this OTAs is make sure there's no crazy injuries and everyone can stay healthy going into mandatory minicamp, which is, I'm pretty sure, June 14th to June 16th. And that's when everybody has to show up. So there's definitely some things to look out for when it comes to the OTAs upcoming. What does Zach Wilson look like in year number 2? Does he have a command of the offense? Because we all know that it's all about Zach Wilson. So what are you looking forward to in terms of Zach Wilson when it comes to OTAs? Like me personally, I want Zach Wilson to show up and prove that he has the command of the playbook like the back of his hand, where he's not thinking too much. He has a presence where people are coming up to him to ask him questions. He doesn't feel like that rookie that's kind of like absorbing knowledge. It's kind of like he understands what he needs to do. And that's what I'm expecting from Zach Wilson, because all you need to do in OTAs is installments of the scheme. You're not looking for Zach to make these flashy throws here, flashy throws there. For me personally, it's all about, does he have a command of the offense and a command of that leadership role?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail right on the head there, brother. I think, second year in the scheme, second year in the same offense, same OC, same head coach, improved supporting cast around Zach Wilson. So, I think definitely, him knowing the offense and the playbook like the back of his hand in year 2, I think has got to be a given. And then, yeah, just I want to see him increase his role as the leader of this team. Not that he's ever done a bad job at being a leader. I think that he's kind of fit into that role pretty nicely, honestly. And, he has respect around the league. You were telling me this morning he'll be the quarterback for tight end university this year, which is pretty hype, So he clearly has that respect around the league already going into year 2. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, he's proved that he could be the guy yet, because he flat out hasn't. But it's good to see that, Zach Wilson has had a very, very active offseason. And I know this is going to translate well right into the OTAs. And as we, said a moment ago, as long as we get out of these OTAs injury-free, I'm happy. So I think it could really only be up from here for Zach. It's looking at his numbers last year with what we've done to improve this offense this year, it's going to be hard for Zach Wilson to not do better than he did last year. He's going to do significantly better than he did last year. So I'm so excited, man. This is really where it all starts. OTAs, baby. The season is approaching.
Yeah, man. OTAs is where it all begins. And look at this video right here. First time we get to see the Wilson to Wilson connection. So we get to admire the rookie receiver running that crisp route, and that Zach Wilson to Garrett Wilson connection looks live, baby. Absolutely love it. So, guys, if you're just tuning into the show, we are previewing phase number 3 of the OTAs that kicks off today. And I'm super excited to talk some Jets with you guys. I got a fun story to talk about that I experienced this past weekend. And so let's get right into that. So, as you guys know, I posted a vlog, and I was at the Elijah Moore meet and greet. If you can see over there, I got the signature on the jersey. And I got to meet Elijah Moore. If you guys didn't see the vlog, make sure you guys check that out, because I tried to bring the experience to a video form for those of you guys that were not able to make it out to Staten Island on Saturday. And for those guys that watched the video, you guys saw that he recognized Jets Media just because I asked him. And here's a little clip of that when I approached him. Elijah Moore, let's go. Appreciate you, my man.
Yes, sir.
You ever see Jets Media on Twitter? Come on.
Come on, now, of course.
That's me.
That's you?
Jets Media.
I love you, bro.
Bro, I love you.
Let's get it.
I appreciate you big time. That's Elijah Moore, baby. Take a pic.
That makes me smile.
So that's the clip where I approached Elijah Moore, which was ridiculous. The full vlog is on my channel if you guys want to check that out. But the crazy part about the story, guys, is, and again, you guys might not believe me at first, but don't worry, I got proof to back this up. So that night, on Saturday night, right? Story time, everybody listen up. That night, I went out to dinner for my friend's birthday or whatever in Manhattan, in the city. And we went to a restaurant. And this restaurant is, it's a high-end restaurant. You expect famous people to go. And you wouldn't believe who was sitting 2 tables from me. It was Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore was sitting 2 tables away from me at a restaurant the same day I met him at a meet and greet. And no, I did not tweet about this. I did not say anything on social media about this, because the 2 people he was sitting with was mind-blowing. And now you guys in the chat are about to be like, what? Are you kidding me? So first, I'm sitting down, and before I even noticed Elijah Moore, I noticed the person he's sitting across from. And the person he's sitting across from is Marcus May. I'm sitting at the restaurant, and all of a sudden I see somebody wearing a hat, and he looks familiar. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is Marcus May. Holy crap, I'm the same restaurant as Marcus May. That is crazy. And then I look across from Marcus May. Then I realize it's Elijah Moore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Elijah Moore. I literally just met him today. So I go up and I approach them. And I approach Elijah Moore and Marcus May. And there was another dude they were sitting with. I think it was an agent or something. And I started talking to them. I'm like, yo, Elijah, it's crazy. I met you today. It was awesome to meet you at the meet and greet. And I talked to Marcus May. I was like, yo, Marcus, like, I really do appreciate everything you did with the Jets. I absolutely loved everything you did here, and I wish you nothing but the best in New Orleans. And he was really respectful. He's like, thanks, man. I really do appreciate that. And then I want to leave him alone. I want to be that guy that's like, obsessed with them at the table, interrupting their dinner. And then here's where the story gets crazier, guys. You guys ready for this? I go back and I sit down and just guess. I want you guys in the chat to guess who the third person was that sat down with them. That I was sitting there and I saw him. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this man is sitting right next to me. Basically, like, I'm sitting here, there's a table here, and their table was there. Someone in the chat already guessed it. Jamal Adams was sitting there, bro. I swear, Jamal Adams showed up, and I'm like, what is going on? I can't believe that this is even happening. Jamal Adams, Marcus May, and Elijah Moore in the same restaurant as me. So at first I'm like, okay, I'm not going to approach them. I'm going to wait a little bit. I don't want to be that fan that's like fanboying, whatever. So I show up like towards the end of the night where like they were eating a dessert, whatever. And I approached Jamal. I'm like, yo, I already came up and said what's good to Elijah and Marcus. And I saw you came up and I'm like, yo, I don't want to interrupt your dinner. So I want to be respectful, but I have to say, Jamal, like, and I was really respectful. I know you guys are going to be like, yeah, like you should say F you to Jamal, but I have a different relationship with Jamal Adams. I love them on the Jets. I didn't like at the time when we traded him away just because I just loved him as a player. But obviously right now I'm happy that we did because of what we got. And I was talking to Jamal Adams, guys, and here's a little picture that my friend took of us, of me rather, to prove. It's a little blurry, but let me see if I can find it. And I didn't ask for a picture. This is the only photo I got. Hold on, here it is. All right, so that's me. And as you can see, that's Jamal and Marcus May. So that's proof, right? So you guys can actually believe me. So that's Jamal Adams, and that's Marcus May. And that's me. It's a little blurry. And then here's a picture, and that's Elijah Moore. So you can see that Elijah's there, and that's me shaking Jamal's hand. This was crazy, guys. Like, I didn't know what was going through my mind during this, but I was composed. And the cool thing about this whole thing that I realized is I got into a conversation with them, and they were very open to talk to me. They weren't like, yo, get this fan away from us. Like, we want to do our own thing. They were laughing. They were engaging conversation with me. And it got to a point where we were just flowing conversation. And in my head, I'm like, am I speaking to two former Jets and a Jets player? Pretty crazy. And then guess what Elijah Moore said? Elijah Moore said with a joke, he's like, yeah, Jamal's trying to come back to the Jets. And I was like, no way. And then Marcus May joked around saying, yeah, but the Jets fans won't welcome Jamal back. And I was like, I'll welcome Jamal Adams back. Come back home. And then Jamal's like, yeah, man. Yeah. He was just laughing, giddying around, but obviously that's not real. I think they were just joking around. And I told Jamal, I'm like, yo, Jamal, if you want to come back to the Jets, I know you got paid and everything, but you got the money you deserved over in Seattle, but we'll see what it goes from there. And then we had this other conversation. I left him alone. And then when I went back to my seat, after that was all done, and after I said hello, when they were all leaving, Elijah Moore left, Marcus May left, and Jamal Adams was the last one there. Jamal Adams went out of his way to look for me, find me like where I was sitting, looked at me and said, much love, man. I appreciate it. And then he left. So shout out to Jamal Adams and shout out to Elijah Moore, Marcus May for being so, open to talk. And I actually sent this DM to Marcus May and he responded today, which was cool. So I sent him like, yo, it was dope meeting you tonight, bro. Wishing you the best with the Saints. Go kill it. You'll be missing New York. And Marcus May responded, appreciate you, bro. It was good meeting you too. Appreciate the love. So pretty crazy stuff. When I was at the restaurant, this was happening live in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can like tweet this right now and make this a big deal. I can take a picture and make this a big deal, but I don't want to be that guy. I want to wait a couple days and just tell you guys in a live stream, make it low key. Didn't want to, blow this up. So, pretty crazy story. So I definitely want to let you guys know about that story because I feel like Jets fans, would appreciate that. So
Crazy story.
Crazy. And then the next day we go and meet Jeremy Ruckert. And if you want to see that vlog, that's uploaded on the channel. So yeah, pretty crazy. Right, guys? What's your thoughts about that? Let me see the chat. Yeah, and it's funny because this Richie the Stalker, I was worried that Elijah Moore was thinking I'm stalking him or something. Because what are the odds that I see him at the meet and greet and I see him at that exact night? Like, I was like, dude, this is ridiculous that you're literally sitting right here with me. But I'm still at a loss for words. I keep replaying that memory in my brain. Like, wow, I literally was in the same room as them. And if you guys follow my channel, when Marcus May and Jamal were on the Jets, you know how much I love them both. Like, I was a huge fan of Marcus May and Jamal Adams. I always debated with my other friends that are not Jets fans that Jamal and May are the best safety duo in the league and all that stuff. So it was awesome, and they were very respectful, and they appreciated me coming up to them. And I just wish Marcus May and Jamal Adams the best. And I told Jamal, I'm like, hey, we'll see you week 17. We'll see you week 17. We're gonna get that dub. And I was joking around with him, and he was really cool. So yeah, that's my story. So let's transition back into some Jets talk. Why don't we? Right?
Amazing stuff, though, man. I cannot believe that I missed that.
Yeah, I know.
I was working that night.
Yeah, Jack would have been there if he wasn't working, but it's all good. It's all good because we got to see Ruckert the next day, and he just signed his contract. So, guys, if you're just tuning into the show, make sure you smash that thumbs up button for your boy. We're just getting started here on the Jets OTAs preview of phase number 3. This is where everybody gets to show up voluntarily. Here's a clip from last week. Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims. Just look out. Okay, first of all, let me just say something about Elijah Moore. After meeting Elijah Moore in person, he's going off. Like, he is a perfect person to have on this franchise to be part of the future, not only of his play on the field. I'm talking about his character. I'm talking about his presence, his demeanor, he's so genuine. He's humble. He's just like pretty much everything you want this Jets team to be about. And I just was really moved by Elijah Moore because he's very enthusiastic, engaged with the fans. He just is you could tell has a good heart. And I just feel like Elijah Moore, the only thing that's going to hold him back is an injury. If he's healthy for 14 plus games, he's going to have well over 1,000 yards and 6+ touchdowns guaranteed. Like, I can say that with a straight face. I'd put money on it. That's how good Elijah Moore is going to be, because he got cooking in year number 2 in 5-week span. And I'm just so excited. Jack, what's your expectations for Elijah Moore in year number 2?
Yeah, man, I think Elijah Moore is, wide receiver 1 on this team right now. I really do. Obviously, we're all super stoked on Garrett Wilson. Corey Davis might be the best wide receiver 3 in the NFL. But I think Elijah Moore in year 2 is set to explode, man. He's got that year of building chemistry with Zach already. And I think he's just, set to have a huge season. I mean, he's super, super versatile as a wide receiver. He's got, breakaway speed. He's got everything you want. Obviously, he's a tremendous, person, as Richie just described. So, he's the exact type of player that you want to, build this young team around and with. So, super stoked for Elijah Moore in year 2. I think the sky's the limit for him, man. I really do. I think that he is about to go off 1,000 yards for sure for Elijah Moore in year 2.
More, baby. Love it. And a real quick, my guy asked, where can I purchase the Jets Media merchandise? If you look in the description, my man, there's a link to my website, richiemeloramedia.com. So you can check out my merchandise over there. Appreciate it. And that's what Jack is wearing, in case anybody is wondering. A nice little simple Jets Media logo. So Elijah Moore, I'm convinced that he is going to be a star this year. And it's really, I really try to hold myself in and try not to be biased and try not to get a little over delusional when it comes to players. But if I can predict the best player on offense this year for the New York Jets, I think it's Elijah Moore for so many reasons that Jack just mentioned. And I just feel like he has everything you want, right? Garrett Wilson, he's going to be a rookie. He's not going to be able to get off in week number 1 and light it up right away. I'm not expecting that. Elijah Moore is going into year number 2. He has chemistry with Zach Wilson. He understands his system, and his talent is just so perfect, and his play style is so perfect for the scheme that Elijah Moore is really going to take off this year, where I think Jets fans are expecting big things from him, but I think we should expect a little bigger things. And I don't want to get our expectations a little too high because then he doesn't exceed them and stuff. But, just go into the season expecting Elijah Moore to be the most productive player on this team, offensively speaking. I really, really do believe that because he just feels like that guy that's going to break out and be the star. So draft him in your fantasy leagues. Elijah Moore is going crazy this year. I mean, how can you not think so? I mean, look at that. Look at the footwork. Come on.
He really does look smooth with it, man. And I think the only thing holding, the stats back, is just going to be the fact that we have a complete offense now, and we have effective guys at every skill position. And that ball is going to be spread around a lot. So, I think Elijah Moore is still probably the most skilled player we have on offense. But, I think the only thing potentially holding those stats back would just be the other guys who are going to be getting their touches. But, Elijah Moore, 1,000 yards for sure. Like I said, he's wide receiver 1, man. He is. So I'm getting ready for a huge year 2 from Elijah.
Yeah, year 2 from Elijah Moore is going to be so fun to watch, and I'm still at a loss for words that I met him and that whole thing happened. He's definitely becoming my favorite player on this entire Jets team for many reasons. Other than that, though, oh my gosh, I'm still at a loss for words, guys. I really am. So some things to look out for the OTAs when it comes to phase number 3 as well. Some players to be participating or not, because it is still voluntary. Is Mekhi Becton going to show up? Obviously, Mekhi Becton has been, not at OTAs because of the birth of his child that he's waiting for. If you guys saw on Twitter that his son was born a couple days ago, I think it was the 21st. So now that his son is born and his girl has, gave birth, obviously he's going to want to be around his son. But when is Mekhi Becton going to show up? Is he going to show up now, or is he going to wait till mandatory minicamp in June? Another person to look out for is George Fant. Is George Fant going to be participating? Because he is dealing with the knee problem that he sustained after the season last year that he got worked on. So let's see where he's at with his knee. And basically, when it comes to the rookies, who's really going to be stepping up and prove to be that guy that's going to make an immediate impact? So when it comes to the rookies, Jack, which player do you think are you predicting to really, for the media to stand out in these OTA periods right out of the gate out of all the rookies?
It's interesting, man. Like you said, there's not really going to be many battles in the trenches going on, so it's going to be hard to tell, from a full team perspective as of right now. I'll tell you who I hope it is. I hope it's Zach Wilson. Zach's not a rookie. I'm sorry. I just realized you asked for about a rookie. But I hope for sure that we just keep hearing fantastic thing after fantastic thing about Zach Wilson. But from a rookie perspective, I'm probably going to go with Garrett Wilson, I'd say, for right now. Again, just because it's not going to be like, a full, contact 11-11 thing, 11-on-11 thing going on. I could put Breece Hall in there, but I think for right now, it's probably going to be a receiver, just because, most of the things we're going to be hearing about is, beautiful pass from Zach Wilson to so-and-so for yada, 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 until, they put the pads on and they can really go. So I'll go with Garrett Wilson for now.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's a great pick. I'm going to go with Sauce Gardner, the 4th overall pick. What is he going to do in OTAs? Obviously, we don't want to see Zach throw interceptions, but I do want to see Sauce Gardner get his hands on the ball. And that's the fun thing about practice when you're watching Jets OTAs. And, of course, when training camp comes on, you can really study these things a little more, where Zach throws an interception, you're like, oh, no. But then Sauce Gardner's the one that got the pick. You're like, yeah, that's sick. You want both offense and defense to both be playing well. So I'm curious to see that Sauce Gardner versus Garrett Wilson battles, as well as even DJ Reed and Elijah Moore, and even DJ Reed against Garrett Wilson, and Sauce against Elijah, and Corey Davis against Sauce. Like, I feel like the best two answers is definitely Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, not because they're the 4th and 10th overall pick, but because they're playing a lot of 7-on-7. Jermaine Johnson's not going to be doing a lot of OTAs. Jeremy Ruckert's not. Max Mitchell, Michael Clemens, not really. Breece Hall will be doing, a couple things here and there, but it's mostly going to be all about the wide receivers and the corners, which is why Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson are the two people that I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to OTAs out of all of the rookies. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, Jack, we'll start off with some position groups. Jack and I want to do the segment where we talk about each position group and we talk about one player in each position group that excites us the most. And I want you guys in the chat to be interactive with us in this one. So we're going to start off with the safeties. So everybody in the chat, out of all the safeties, which player are you most excited to see, and which player do you think is going to have a big-time impact? So, Jack, do you want to start off with the guy in the safety position?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm going Whitehead for sure. I think that, a big addition to an area of need for us. I could throw Joyner's name in there because he's a good veteran player that we never got to see last year, but I'm very excited for Whitehead. He's, extremely versatile as a safety. He can come up and make a tackle in the backfield. He can stop the run. He's good in coverage. He's, a versatile player. So I'm very, very excited to see what he can bring to this safety room, man.
Yeah. Whitehead is definitely the easiest answer because he is that free agent signing that we got. Speaking of Jamal Adams, Jordan Whitehead is going to be that Jamal Adams role for us. I don't think he's going to be, Jamal Adams productive-wise, but he's going to play that role of being the box safety, blitzing the quarterback, still dropping back in coverage, playing, spy against the quarterback. But the other guy that's going to be next to him is LaMarcus Joyner, who I'm excited for because last year, obviously, we did not get to see him play at all. He got injured in week number 1, and Robert Saleh said how big of a blow it was to this defense because LaMarcus Joyner was that leader of that secondary that was the vocal guy to line everybody up. And we still have a young secondary. We're going to have a rookie in Sauce starting. DJ Reed is a veteran, but he's still 25, 26 years old, being with the Jets for the first year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what LaMarcus Joyner can do in year number 2 in the system and year number 1 really playing on the field if he can stay healthy. And when it comes to the corners, I'm going to talk about DJ Reed real quick. Obviously, Sauce is the easy answer, and you guys can see that jersey I got right there with the sauce on the back. But DJ Reed might low-key be the best free agent signing for this Jets team. And you can argue Laken Tomlinson because he's a Pro Bowler, but I feel like DJ Reed is a player that Jets fans are going to fall in love with. He did not give up a touchdown once last year when he played on the right side. That's exactly where he's going to be playing this year. DJ Reed's going to be on the right side. Sauce is going to be on the left side. So for DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner to all of a sudden be the duo for this cornerback room, I'm super excited. So everybody in the chat, which corner are you most excited to see? You can even talk about Michael Carter II in year number 2, even Bryce Hall in some packages, and Sauce, of course. So Jack, which corner do you want to talk about and highlight the most?
You know, dude, it's very easy to say Sauce here. But, you know, I'm thinking that this is where we're really going to find out if Michael Carter II can play ball, you know, because if Sauce is the guy we think he is, we're probably not going to be hearing much from Sauce, you know, because not many passes are going to be sent his way. If DJ Reed is the guy that we think he is, could be some of the same stuff. So, you know, a quarterback might not have many other options to go, but to whoever is, you know, Michael Carter II is covering. So I feel like we're going to see really if this guy is good or not. And I think he is, man. He had a phenomenal rookie season. But this is going to be a big test this year because I predict there's going to be a lot of targets headed his way.
Yeah, I agree. Michael Carter II is probably the most underrated player on this entire defense, in my opinion. He's going to be the only rookie from last year on the defensive side of the ball to start, I think. You know, Eccles is not going to get a starting job. Nazarene or Sherwood probably not going to start. Pinnock probably not going to start. Jonathan Marshall, don't look for him to start, but look out for Jonathan Marshall to be part of the rotation this year. I've been hearing a lot of things that the Jets are really high on him and for him to be impactful in year number 2. And then moving over to the linebacker position, the guy I want to talk about is Quincy Williams. If you guys saw the video that the New York Jets posted, I think yesterday, it was a one-on-one interview with Ethan Greenberg and Quincy Williams. You guys definitely got to watch it. I'm really excited for Quincy Williams, man. If you guys remember, put into context, last year the Jets claimed him on the waiver wire after training camp, right? So we claimed him right before the season. So Quincy was not with the Jets during OTAs. He was not with the Jets during training camp. So he got signed with the Jets, and all of a sudden, week number 1, he has to learn the whole system on the fly. He has to learn the coaching staff, learn the Jets personnel, and just learn his teammates. And now he gets a full season under his belt. Now he gets to go through a full offseason of, you know, understanding the playbook, not having to learn on the fly. He's going to be a more vocal leader. And he said, they asked him a question, what's the one thing you're going to be working on the most in the offseason? He said, not always go for the big hit. And I like that he said that because he is that type of player where he kind of overcommits on some tackles where he feels like all he needs to do is just pound someone, which I love about him. He's a violent tackler. But there were some times where if he didn't go crazy and try to get that big hit, there could have been an interception. It could have been a deflection. It could have been a different type of play. So I really feel like Jets fans, I know that the linebacker position is definitely a weak link of this team, but look out for Quincy Williams, man. I feel like he's going to shock a lot of people because we can tell that the Jets coaching staff and the front office are really high on him, especially that they did not really draft a linebacker or sign a linebacker in free agency. So Quincy Williams is my pick. How about you, Jack?
Love Quincy. I love what he can do. I would love to see him improve in, you know, his coverage game. I would love to see all of our linebackers improve in coverage because that's where we really got burned last year. But, you know, I'll talk about our defensive leader. I'll talk about CJ Mosley, man. I mean, individually, he had a phenomenal season last year. But the defense was 32nd in the league. So I feel like we need to see CJ, you know, somehow improve this year. I mean, he did have a fantastic season last year. That's not lost on me. I don't think that's lost on any Jets fans. But, you know, if you're the leader of that defense and everybody around you is looking to you and that defense ends up finishing last in the league, something's wrong. It doesn't matter how good the stats were. We need to see some sort of improvement out of CJ this year. And I think that'll lead to an improvement in the defense as a whole. Can I lob Sherwood in with the linebackers? Of course. For sure, right? You know, I think Sherwood is a guy that, you know, the Jets are high on, and I would love to see him pan out. He looked, you know, decent last year before he got hurt. Didn't look fantastic, but definitely didn't look bad. I think he's, you know, got the ability to improve a second year in the Robert Saleh system. I'm excited to see what he can do. I don't think that the linebacker, I mean, I hope at least that the linebacker situation is not as bad as we all think it might be. Hopefully this is all part of Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh's plan. I think they like the guys that they got. I think that they do like Sherwood. I think that they do like Hamza Nasruddin as well. So maybe one of those guys can pop off this year, and all of a sudden the linebacker situation will be looking nice out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, the linebacker position is definitely the weakest link when it comes to on paper, but we have to take in consideration that we drafted two linebackers last year that started off as safeties. And fun fact, Quincy Williams was drafted as a safety and was converted to linebacker. So obviously that's the type of system they like to have, athletic guys that can play zone, that can do a lot of things. So look out for the linebacker position to see what is going to be in OTAs. Definitely something to look out for. And then moving on to the defensive line. Now this position you can pick from like 13 players.
I know.
I mean, it's to the point where there's going to be teams out there that's going to be claiming some defensive linemen that we have to cut. This is the deepest position. Joe Douglas is going to have to make a big-time decision when it comes to the 53-man roster late in August of who's going to be making this team or not, because not all these guys are going to be able to make the roster. So, Jack, I'll ask you first, and everybody in the chat, talk about the guy on the defensive line that you're looking forward to seeing the most this season. Not your favorite or not like the best player. You can say that as well, but the player that you're most looking forward to see. So, Jack, who would that player be for you?
I think the player that I'm most looking forward to see out there is probably.
Should we split it to edge and D tackle, or just do all in one?
I think we can do all in one. I think we can probably give like 2 answers each. Okay. I'm gonna give 2 answers.
Edge and D tackle.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So, I'll go with Quinnen Williams. I think that hopefully this is the year that the edge rush is finally where it needs to be, what we've been waiting for over a decade, really. And I think that is going to do magical things for Quinnen Williams on the interior, man. I mean, Quinnen Williams has just gotten better every year. And I think that, in year 4 now, this could be, where he explodes. And if it's not, then, you got to ask yourself some tough questions, So this really needs to be the year that Quinnen has got to explode, got to take that leap. I really think he has the potential to be one of the elite interior defensive linemen in this league.
He's top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's already there. Yeah, he's already right there.
He's 5.
But he could be better with the supporting cast around him on this defensive line. So I'll go Quinnen on the interior. And then on the edge, it's really a toss-up, man. But I think I'll have to go with Carl Lawson because, as much as I want to say Jermaine Johnson, I think Jermaine Johnson's going to do incredible things for us this year. But we need to see Carl Lawson on the field, healthy, showing us that he's worth that contract that was given to him, showing us that he can be as disruptive as we think he can. And I think that if you have Carl Lawson healthy, opposite Jermaine Johnson healthy, with Quinnen Williams and John Franklin Myers on the interior, and obviously you'll rotate guys in for, whether it's a passing down or whether it's a run stopping down, it's always going to look fresh and different depending on the situation. That's how Saleh likes to do it, and I love that. I think with those 4 guys that I just named, though, it could really be scary, man. We just got to keep these guys healthy. We got to see them out there. And I know we say this every year, the defensive line is going to be sick. Defensive line is going to be sick. The pieces are finally in place now. We have 2, at least we think we have 2 bona fide stud edge rushers. So I couldn't be any more hyped, man. Couldn't be any more hyped for that defensive front.
Another thing about the defensive front that I got confident for them to be good this year is that they're prepared for injuries, right? Unfortunately, injuries is a part of the game. And if one of those guys unfortunately goes down, I have a lot of confidence in the next man up now. We're so deep at this position to the point where if somebody has to go down, the next man up, I'm confident in, which is why I'm expecting big things from this defensive line throughout the entire season. The person that I'm going to bring up is John Franklin Myers. I feel like John Franklin Myers is a very underappreciated New York Jet. He started off the season red hot. He got that extension, and he played good last year. And some Jets fans are like, "Oh, is that worth that money? We shouldn't give him that contract." And I couldn't disagree more with that take, to be honest, because that contract is essentially like a 1-year extension where there's not it's all the guaranteed money's up front, and we can get out of the contract if everything goes south. Don't look at the money. Look at the production that John Franklin Meyer has on this team and his versatility of lining up on the edge and on the inside. And his win rate on the outside is pretty darn good. Don't just look at the box score and only see that he had 6 sacks. The amount of quarterback pressures he had last year were really good. So the fact that Joe Douglas was proactive and got that extension done before John Franklin Myers hit the open market was absolutely awesome, because if you can imagine the reality of going into this free agency with JFM hitting the open market and him potentially signing elsewhere for more money than we even gave him, then all of a sudden we have a big time hole in this defensive line where it doesn't look as talented on paper, because John Franklin Myers and Quinnen Williams are the key to this defensive line, especially that John Franklin Myers can line up on the edge on the inside. So I'm definitely expecting big things from John Franklin Myers this year, his first season with the big time extension from the New York Jets. That was absolutely well deserved, and I'm very happy the Jets paid him up front. And then the next player is definitely going to be I'm going to go with the other rookie, Michael Clemens. Obviously, Jermaine Johnson, I'm expecting big things from him. But Michael Clemens has been a talk throughout ever since we drafted him. His demeanor in his press conference, he's a big dude. I'm expecting him to play pretty well as a rookie right away. I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time, but he's definitely going to be out there for passing downs and be able to cause some disruption. Other guys that I got to bring up, Bryce Huff is still on the team. Jacob Martin is a very underrated free agent acquisition. Even Solomon Thomas on the inside. Jonathan Marshall in year number 2. Bradley Ane is a guy that we brought in from the Cowboys after the season was done. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but this defensive line is absolutely stacked. Oh, yeah. Vinny Curry, who's a player that was supposed to be a veteran impact last year, and he obviously was not able to play. So this defensive line is just on paper like, wait a second. This D-line should be
There's no excuse.
top 5.
I mean, obviously, if somebody goes down, please don't let
But
them
the one
happen.
thing I will say, the weakness of the defensive line is we do not have a bona fide interior run stuffer. That was Foley Fatukasi. He's gone. We did not replace Foley with a guy that we can say, wow, he's going to be that guy that's going to stuff up the runs. And if you guys remember last year, the Jets were pretty darn bad at stopping the run. So if there's one weakness of that defensive line, it's against the run on the inside. I like the pass rush.
That's also really where we need CJ and Quincy Williams and Sherwood to step up as well and do their part and fill those gaps, that Foley would have been able to fill.
Yeah, I agree. So now switching over to the offensive side of the ball, let's start back off. Let's start with the inside out again, flipping it around. So we're going to start with the offensive line. So Jack, out of everybody in the offensive line, everybody in the chat, again, make sure you let us know the player on the offensive line that you're looking forward to the most this season. Who would that be?
Listen, man, this is a tough one. I mean, you guys know by now that I love my offensive lineman with all my heart. I'm going to give it to Mekhi Becton, man. He's about to prove the haters wrong. He's about to, go out there and stay healthy this year and be a beast and be an absolute beast. I'm excited to witness it. I know it's going to happen. I know people are going to be like, oh, you're crazy. Becton's washed. I don't understand that narrative whatsoever. Injuries happen all the time. Are we saying that, Carl Lawson is washed because he just missed the whole season? We're not saying anything like that. So I don't understand the Mekhi slander at all. I'm excited to see him out there putting in work this year. Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready for Mekhi Becton to come out here and prove all the haters wrong. And you said it the best, Jack. People forget oh, Mekhi didn't play last year. That just means he's a bad player. He had a rookie season where he was looking like the best tackle in the league at some points. He didn't have a perfect rookie season. He wasn't dominating every play, but you don't expect that from a rookie left tackle. He went up against Aaron Donald at the goal line once against the Rams and bodied Aaron Donald on a play. He went up against Nick Bosa and contained him for an entire game. He went up against Joey Bosa as well, contained him for an entire game as a rookie. So the fact that Mekhi Becton was out all of last year, just do not forget the talent that he is. Obviously, the big X factor with him comes to health and him actually playing. Let's hope that he's in shape and ready to go in OTAs when he does show up. The guy that I want to bring up is definitely Elijah Vera Tucker, because the eyes are going to be on him, man. In year number 2, he's transitioning to a new position at right guard with the acquisition of Lincoln Tomlinson. Is Elijah Vera Tucker going to prove to be a top right guard in the league? I think he very well could be. You can argue that the Jets have one of the best guard duos in the league with Lincoln Tomlinson and Elijah Vera Tucker. That's just not me speaking out of my ass. That's true. We're getting a bona fide Pro Bowler in Tomlinson, and we have a guy that we traded up for in the first round that has Pro Bowl potential in AVT. So I'm expecting high things from Elijah Vera Tucker. I just feel like he's a player that I'm just really, really excited about, man. I just feel like you can't go wrong with that pick. And when it goes to, before we get into the next position, guys, if you guys are not already, make sure you smash that thumbs up button on your way into the show. We got 62 likes with 178 people, you guys tuning in. If you guys can please do me a favor, hit that like button so we can get to 100 likes. That would mean a lot to the channel. So let's get into the tight ends. So everybody in the chat, we got a bunch of tight ends to choose from now. It's about damn time, because it used to be like the worst position group. I used to like slander Joe Douglas for this, saying he does never prioritize his position. So I'm going to start it off with this one. A player that I really think, who I personally think is going to actually be the most productive tight end out of all the players that we acquired offensively, is Tyler Conklin. I think Tyler Conklin is going to be an absolute beast for the New York Jets on the field. Like, if you guys watch his tape in Minnesota, he is a guy that you're like, wow, the Jets have never had a tight end like this. First of all, Tyler Conklin, I think, is one of only a few tight ends last year to have 0 drops in like 70 targets. So his hands are absolutely phenomenal. He showed up at that tight end number 1 role in Minnesota last year when Irv Smith went down for the season, and he proved to be a guy that's very productive when the ball went his way. He's a guy that can block. He's a guy that can just be a security blanket for Zach Wilson in the red zone. He can high point the ball, go up there and snag it. Minnesota Vikings fans call him Gronklin as a nickname just because they reminded him of Gronk when he showed flashes of, whoa, he's an absolute stud. So, guys, I'm predicting if there is a tight end that's going to lead the Jets in receiving, I think it's going to be Conklin. I really, really do believe that. And that's the guy that I'm looking forward to the most. How about you, Jack?
I agree with you. I do think that Tyler Conklin is going to end up being the most productive tight end for us this year. But I'll flip the coin and go to our other free agent veteran tight end signing in CJ Uzomah. I think that watch out for CJ Uzomah in the red zone. You mentioned the red zone threat for Tyler Conklin. I think potentially even more so for CJ Uzomah. He's a big body who can go up and get it. He doesn't go down on first contact. He's just a brawler, in the red zone. So definitely watch out for him to get his tutties this year. I'm excited to see what he can bring to this tight end room, man. I really am. I think that, Uzomah, Conklin, obviously drafting Jeremy Ruckert. It's crazy how when you prioritize, even Kenny Yeboah, man. It's crazy how when you prioritize something really in one off season, because Yeboah really statistically didn't do much for us last year. Wasn't really given the opportunity to. I think I'm very high on him. But when you look at our tight ends last year compared to this year, it's night and day, man. It's crazy what you can do when you prioritize a position of need in just 1 year. So I couldn't be any more excited about the state of these tight ends, man. And I can't believe I'm even saying that, because it has been abysmal for the last couple seasons now. I mean, Chris Herndon had a phenomenal rookie season. We thought we were going to be hearing Sam Darnold to Chris Herndon for the next 10 years. And then they both faded into, non-existence. But here we are now, man, with 2 very productive veteran tight ends and a rookie tight end in Jeremy Ruckert that we think is definitely going to be, the long haul horse for the future. So very excited.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to touch up on before we move on to the next position about CJ Uzomah is I think he's going to have the most impact on this team in the locker room and off the field. Not to take away anything of his ability on the field. I think Jack hit on the nail. He's going to be probably the most red zone targeted player on this team because of his big frame and his ability to just go over the middle. But his culture and his character is such a big piece to this team. He was a huge reason why that Cincinnati Bengals team was so connected offensively and so in sync. Because CJ Uzomah, if you guys watch his press conferences, he just screams a captain. He screams a leader. He's a guy that this Jets offense desperately needs in the locker room to really put all the glue together, because it's more about what happens on the field, because before you can be successful on the field, you need to be able to connect as a team off the field. And I feel like CJ Uzomah is that glue that's going to be the leader. He's going to be giving the team the pep talk in the tunnel before they head out into the field. He's going to be vocal in practices, telling them how to do this, how to do that. Like CJ Uzomah, I think is going to become a captain on this team. Don't be shocked if he gets voted a captain, because he has that energy, he has that leadership ability, and Cincinnati Bengals fans rave about him and his leadership ability. And for him to be an experienced team last year, like the Cincinnati Bengals, who went from last to first with a year 2 quarterback, he knows what it takes. He knows what you need to do as an offense to be productive with a very young signal caller and at the quarterback position. And I just see a lot of parallels, to be honest, between the Bengals and the Jets. So I'm really excited for CJ, not only his productive traits on the field, but definitely off the field. And when it comes to the wide receivers, now we can pick a lot of wide receivers here too. Guys in the chat, which wide receiver are you most excited to see this year? Jack, I'll start off with you.
I'll go back to the very beginning of the stream, man. I think it's our boy Elijah Moore. I mean, I kind of feel bad taking that from you. But I think Elijah is about to explode in year 2. He has wide receiver 1 written all over him. And I think that, his skill set can propel him to be a top player at his position, very soon.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with Elijah Moore. I think that Elijah is going to lead the Jets in receptions, in yards, and touchdowns. Bold take. But the player that I'm looking forward to the most, Braxton Berrios, baby. My guy, Braxton Berrios, is re-signed with the Jets. Such an underrated signing, man. Like, such an important thing that Joe Douglas did is by re-signing Braxton Berrios. Not even talking about his ability to be a kick returner, because he was, all pro and should have been a Pro Bowler, but wasn't. But I think that Braxton Berrios is going to be heavily involved in this offense, a little more than we're all expecting, because we got Garrett Wilson, we got Corey Davis, we have Elijah Moore. So we're kind of not expecting Berrios to do anything. Don't expect that. Braxton Berrios will be in on a bunch of sets for gadget plays in the slot, lining up as a wingback, just doing a bunch of fun things. And he's so reliable. And I feel like Zach Wilson is the most comfortable with Braxton Berrios. I think he has the most chemistry with him. And that's not a knock on Zach. That's what happened when Berrios was the only player healthy for Zach Wilson at the back end of the season, where Zach started to get comfortable. And remember, Zach Wilson started off the season poorly. And a really funny thing about Zach Wilson's rookie season that a lot of people don't really bring up is Zach Wilson as a rookie struggled in the first part of the season when everyone was healthy around him. He had Corey Davis, he had Elijah Moore, he had everyone healthy. But then the back end of the season, when Zach Wilson played his best football, where he had 5 straight games without throwing an interception, he did not have Corey Davis. He did not have Elijah Moore. He had Braxton Berrios and Keelan Cole and Tariq Black and Crowder. So what I'm trying to say is Braxton Berrios was Zach Wilson's go-to guy at the end of the season when Elijah Moore was down and Corey Davis was down. So they got a lot of chemistry, and I'm expecting Braxton Berrios to do a lot of fun things. I think he could finish with 500-plus yards, maybe 600-plus yards, and 4 or 5 touchdowns. I really think he's going to be that productive for the Jets this year, and it's going to be all over the field and become that fan favorite. He just never drops the ball. He always knows where to go with the football when in terms of third down, go to the sticks, turn around, sticks play, catch, run, touchdown. First down. So even from week 1 last year, if you guys remember, he converted that fourth down late in the fourth quarter. Braxton Berrios, man, I'm just excited for him. I'm so pumped up that he's back with the Jets.
I don't know how Bill Belichick let this man out of his fingers. He is the Belichick prototype. Never drops the ball. Super, super reliable as a receiver. And a total dog on special teams. I'm so happy that he's a New York Jet. And I think that, I commend my buddy Rich for bringing up Braxton Berrios, because he really is, an impactful player on this team. Otherwise, he wouldn't have, been given a new contract.
He's jacked.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at him.
this guy's a beast, man.
Jets fans, we all love him. We all want him to get re-signed. But, he's going to be a little more productive than we might think. I feel like he's a fan favorite. But at the same time, we're yeah, but he's wide receiver 4. Nah,
that's Honey Nut Berrios.
He's about to get. Look at that. The Zach Wilson, the Braxton Berrios connection is going to be awesome. And I actually saw a tweet from PFF, a graphic of 8 receivers. It was who is the most slept on receiver, and Braxton Berrios was on there. So he gets some love.
I gotta be honest, man. I never realized that Honey Nut Berrios was a play on Honey Nut Cheerios. I thought that Honey Nut. No. I don't remember when I realized it, but yeah, I thought Honey Nut was Honey Badger. How Tyrann calls himself the Honey Badger. I thought he called himself Honey Nut. I'm what's Honey Nut? Whatever, Braxton, do your thing. Honey Nut Cheerios. Oh, light bulb. Braxton.
Honey Nut Berrios, baby. We love
Honey Nut Berrios.
So now moving to the running back position, I think there's 2 of them to choose from. So, Jack, I'll let you talk about whichever one. I'll talk about the other.
Yes, sir. You know what? I'll give you the opportunity to talk about the Rook. I'll talk about Michael Carter, year 2. I'm excited to see what he can do, man. Second year in this offense. He's got, a new companion in Breece Hall to lighten the load. And I think that, we're going to see Michael Carter, really explode once again in this offense. I think that, he doesn't have the home run potential that Breece Hall has, but, Michael Carter is going to be catching a lot of passes. I feel like Michael Carter is going to be that guy. Whenever we're throwing a pass to the running back, it's going to be towards Michael Carter. Not that Breece Hall can't make it happen. He definitely can. And he was great at it in college. But I feel like now that we've got Breece, who's, we can pitch it to him outside, we can send him in between the tackles, and he can, at any given time, he can break one for 80 yards. I feel like Michael Carter is going to be that dude for, trick plays, passes in the flat. I think that it's this offense has through the roof potential for a player like Michael Carter, especially with another more than viable running back in Breece Hall that's going to be with him. So I think that Michael Carter has the potential to have a sick year too.
Yeah, and another thing about Michael Carter that I have to bring up before I talk about Breece Hall is his character. I think Michael Carter is like the most unique player on this team in terms of his personality. He's hysterical. He's a clown in a good way. He's fun. He's funny. If you just watch all those videos that the Jets social team posts when they all ask these questions, like who's your favorite rapper or what's your favorite song or all that stuff, Michael Carter is always like loves the camera on him. He's always laughing. He's always doing this. He's always doing that. And I just love Michael Carter. I feel like he should be a lifelong Jet. Now, when it comes to Breece Hall could be the most productive running back that the Jets have had in a long time this season as a rookie, because the one thing that's fun about running backs is they're in their prime as rookies. They're like the only position that you can say that you expect them to be playing their best football on their rookie contract. It's not like you're expecting them to develop into their form. You see all these running backs around the league, they play good football immediately. And we also saw the running back position be devalued, where running backs don't traditionally get second contracts and get paid the big bucks. They're getting drafted to play well on the rookie deal, which is why the Jets were aggressive to make sure they got Breece Hall. And Breece Hall is a player that is a home run waiting to happen. I'm actually making my rookie profile on him tomorrow, so keep a lookout for that. But Breece Hall is a guy that has 5 70-plus yard touchdowns in his career at Iowa State. That tells you that he's a home run hitter. He can take the ball 70-plus yards whenever the ball's in his hand, as well as he has the blocking, and he has the ability to have vision and cut back and forth and make people miss. And he's just everything you want in a running back in this system. And I think that Jets fans are going to fall in love with Breece Hall, rocking that number 20. And I'm expecting big things from him immediately as a rookie. And I honestly can say this. I think after this year, people are going to look at Breece Hall as, a top rookie or a top young running back in the league that everyone's trying to draft in fantasy, either in the first or second round, because that's how good he is going to be this year, especially in year number 2 in the system. So when it comes to the quarterback position, obviously there's only one guy to talk about, and that's being Zach Wilson, because when it comes to the depth of the quarterback position, we're hoping that Mike White and Joe Flacco both never see the field, because that means Zach Wilson is healthy, right? So, Jack, I'll let you talk about your expectations for Zach Wilson. We talked about him so many times on the channel already. We're going to be talking about him a lot. We already talked about him on the stream today. But, when it comes to Zach Wilson, what gets you excited about him when it comes to this season?
Yeah, he's QB1, man. We got to talk about him every stream. So when it comes to Zach, I feel like the things that excite me about him are his big play potential. I think his arm on the deep ball is, amazing already. And I think it's just going to improve with more time in the league. And hopefully his connection with these young receivers is going to improve with time as well. I think that, Zach's decision-making, his ability to protect the football towards the end of the season, there was definitely an improvement there. So I'm hoping that translates into year 2. And I think that, obviously just continue to grow as the leader of this franchise and, really step into that role even more so in year 2 and, win some games, lead this team to some victories. I forget who it was who said Zach Wilson needs to be the reason that they win 3 or 4 games. It's got to come down to Zach just playing better than the opposing quarterback. That's what we need to see in year 2. We need to see that Zach's the guy, especially with this supporting cast of characters that he now has around him. I mean, the offense has improved in every level. We've spoken about the offensive line, the tight ends, the wide receivers, the running backs. Literally in every level of the offense, we've improved. So now Zach has to improve as well. The things that he needs to specifically improve on, I think is, the thing that really stands out to me is the accuracy on those easy, short to medium throws. He's got to hit those 10 out of 10 times. That's what an NFL quarterback needs to do every single time he drops back to throw, is hit the easy pass. So that needs to, just become a given for Zach. And I think it will, man. I mean, let's look at Josh Allen. I know I always compare us to the Bills, but in Josh Allen's first couple seasons, he really struggled with those easy throws. We've known that Josh Allen has, an immaculate deep ball. We knew that coming out of college. We know that with Zach Wilson coming out of college. We saw it with Zach Wilson last year in his rookie season a couple different times. But now we need to see Zach make that improvement that we saw from Josh Allen, where, it seems like every throw is easy for Josh. And I know that Zach has the skills and the arm talent to be in that same position as well. I go back to, there was one play where it could have won us the game. It was a 3rd and 10, I believe. And it was the receiver, I think it was Corey Davis, got to the sticks and just ran a quick out route. And it was there. If it was a perfect ball, it would have been there. We would have gotten the first down. And we would have been able to take a couple knees and end the game. And Zach missed the throw. I forget whether we ended up winning or losing that game. But, stuff like that can't happen. So Zach needs to be making those crucial throws. He needs to be making those easy throws. I'm not looking for him to absolutely light it up in year 2. I don't think any realistic Jets fan really is. I just want to see an improvement in every statistical category, and I want to see him be the reason that we win some games.
Yeah, I agree. I think Zach needs to have 3 or 4 games where he is the reason we won. And that's by lighting it up. That's by having 300 yards. That's by leading the Jets offense down the field and late in the fourth quarter for a come from behind victory, or the Jets are down by 4 points and it's 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Can Zach Wilson put the team on his back and drive down the field and get a touchdown? Even thinking about that makes me whoa, if that actually happens, if Zach Wilson has that drive that we see countless quarterbacks around the league do, where they're down by 4 points or they're down by a touchdown or they need to get in the end zone, otherwise we will lose the game, and they actually get the job done. Can Zach Wilson do that for a couple of games? That's where we want to, show, does he have the clutch gene? Does he have the ability to not crumble under pressure? Can he read defenses properly? Can he avoid pressure? Is he going to hold on to the ball too long? There's so many things that goes into the quarterback position. And just another thing about Zach, and Jack touched on it a little bit, we cannot expect Zach Wilson to be absolutely perfect and play mistake-free football in year number 2. He's going to throw a really bad interception where we're all scratching our heads thinking, Zach, why'd you throw that ball? He's going to have a fumble. He's going to, hold the ball for too long for a couple of snaps. And the thing in year number 2 that you want to see from a guy is he going to make the same mistakes over and over again? That's something we saw from Sam Darnold, right? We saw Sam make a mistake. He didn't fix the mistake. It just kept happening. So when it comes to Zach, earlier in the season where he throws an interception or he fumbles or he makes a mistake, is that thing going to continue? Because last year we saw Zach Wilson fix his mistakes. He had 9 interceptions in the first 5 games and then finished off the season with 2 interceptions in the last 7 games. So that's called fixing your issues from as the season progresses. So is Zach going to continue to do that? And that's something that I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to Zach Wilson in year number 2. So yeah, guys, that's us going through all of the position groups on the New York Jets team. A little quick announcement. For those of you guys that are not aware, I'm going to make a post about this tomorrow, but Jets Media Day, the tickets are on sale. That is week number 5 against the Miami Dolphins. A little update on what Jets Media Day is. For those of you guys that are just tuning into the stream or not familiar what that is, I'm planning a day where I'm getting all my subscribers and a bunch of my friends to a Jets game, that being week number 5 against the Miami Dolphins. I got a huge tailgate plan where we're joining Ticket Bash, which is a company that organizes Jets tailgates every single week. I'm going to have a huge Jets media stand where I'm going to have a bunch of cool things that you guys can interact with. We can talk Jets. We also all will sit in the same section together, watch the Jets versus the Dolphins. And a cool incentive as well is we all get to go onto MetLife Stadium's turf after the game and take some pictures, be part of the vlog, and be part of the first ever Jets Media Day. So if you're interested in joining the Jets Media Day, first ever Let me know. Shoot me an email. The email's down below in the description if you want to be on the Jets Media priority list. The price is all out there. I think it's $110, $115 for the ticket, and then $55 for the tailgate. So if you guys are interested in coming out to the game week number 5, meet me, meet Jack, meet all my friends, and meet all the subscribers that'll be joining the show. I think we already have like 15 of you guys signed up. So let me know in the if you guys want to join, and we'll be seeing the New York Jets absolutely destroy the Miami Dolphins.
It's going to be such a fun day, man. I can't believe I'm going to be able to go onto the field at MetLife as it's all decked out for a Jets game, go into the end zone where it says Jets on it, and it's going to be sick, man. It's going to be wonderful to hang out with all you guys, hang out with my brother Rich and all of our buddies. The tailgate's going to be sick. The game's going to be a dub. After the game on the field, it's going to be sick. I'm already looking forward to it, man. It's going to be one of the best days of the season, probably the best day of the season, right? How could we have a better day than that? For sure.
It will be a dub. So yeah, guys, if you're interested in the Jets Media Day, shoot me an email down below. Is my email. It's richiemalore4198@gmail.com. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed our OTAs Phase 3 preview. I told you guys my little story of I met Elijah Moore, and later that night, I actually saw Jamal Adams and Marcus May out to dinner. Pretty crazy stuff. If you guys didn't hear that story, definitely rewind it, and so you guys can hear that back because I got to speak to those boys, and I was like, damn. I miss him. So, guys, I appreciate all the support. I love you all. Let's go Jets. And I look forward to more Jets content throughout the week. And expect a lot of things coming your way. And let's go Jets, everybody. Peace out.
Peace.